Good morning. Good morning, coffee moaners, Saturday moaning. Hello. Welcome to the library. Who's that there? Okay, if you can name first person to name that character there, not the one at the back, that one there, can win a card. Come on. Name the character. Well, the character. Yeah. The character. Or the actor. That one there. Morning, everyone. Morning. That's a bit frustrating if you're on podcasts because I'm pointing at something. Who's that? Chi-Chi's wandering around a little bit more healthily now. I wonder what Nadia and Dina will be cooking later. Well, I know because we've already shot it. It's going to be going up at 11 o'clock. It's a pre-record, but it is going to be premiered. So what that means, I know a lot of people get very confused about that. It means that you can comment like this live chat whilst it's broadcast. So it's like linear TV. It's broadcast. Not live, but you can comment and talk to each other. Malcolm McDowell, well done. Russ Ouch, send your address, matey. I hope you're well. I was looking at your lovely Instagram page last night, or the day before. Hey, Zoe. Hey, Richard Kavanagh. Spurs have sacked their manager despite winning the Europa League. I don't think the Europa League is a good enough reason to keep him, Richard. What a shit show of a season. We nearly got relegated. Both teams were very poor. Good morning. So obviously we're gonna go through the news. Most of the news today actually is quite a sort of odd news day. Most of the news is still the kind of aftermath and reverberations and gyrations of the Donald Trump, Elon Musk spat. Who here originally felt and thought that it was all affectation? And I thought they were going to at least have a phone call yesterday and try and make up, but they haven't. Donald Trump was having absolutely none of it. So the Musk-Trump falling out, divorce, split, schism is still going. So the Guardian, Donald Trump says Elon Musk has lost his mind and dismisses peace offering. And Trump says he's not particularly interested in reconciling with Trump. He's losing his mind. He's lost his mind. He's crazy. He's just crazy. In a series of phone calls to the US media on Friday morning, Trump snapped back at Musk. Trump went on his Truth Social on Friday. We know all of that. He said he'd grown tired of old Musk. The president also spoke to CNN. I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem. And told Politico that the relationship with Musk was going very well, never done better. The New York Times reported in private conversations that Trump had attributed Musk's behavior to drug usage. So perhaps, to be fair to... So here's a question. Whose side are you on? Who are you rooting for in this mutual destruction? In one corner, you've got the wealthiest man in the world, the first man potentially and likely to become the world's first trillionaire. And then on the other side of the room, you've got who's arguably the most powerful man in the world, Trump. But okay, neither. I get it. It's an unedifying choice. We'd all rather go for Gordon the Gopher. But if you had to, okay, you've got a gun held to your head. You're not allowed to have Boursin cheese for an entire year unless you make a decision. I don't know where that came from. Just fancy some Boursin. I'm on Melania's side, says Natasha Tiramos. Oh, look at you, getting all feminist political about it. I know what you mean. I do wonder how the women... She's kept a very, very low profile. Christos, it was inevitable from the get-go. Two big egos of that scale couldn't coexist, nor cooperate, nor to be continued. It's like two massive planets called Uranus orbiting around each other with the sphincter muscle going. Sorry, it's got some vivid imagery going on today. Would give up the Boursin. Anne H. What? That deserves being popped up on the screen. Anne H. would give up the Boursin. You never give up the Boursin. The Boursin. I'm becoming more... Given the fact that I'm 50%, 53% German, French, Netherlands, Boursin. I feel French. Snowdrop 85, I think Trump is more dangerous than Musk. Well, I think if the New York Times report is to be believed, and Musk was sadly, due to overuse of ketamine, pissing himself everywhere, which is a byproduct of excessive drug use. And perhaps his black eye didn't come from X. Maybe there's some argument there. I mean, what could Musk do wrong? I mean, I suppose he could do a lot wrong, couldn't he, really? But I mean, my worry, does anyone else secretly harbor this thought in a sort of Austin Powers way? What if Musk already has an AI army? Sort of like underground, and he's just going to press a button and they're all going to come out of the ground. I don't know. Sometimes one thinks these things when one's looking at a bonsai tree. So yeah, Trump v. Musk, 10 ways they can further hurt each other. Let's have a look at this. Oh no, that's the one. Hang on. Let me find the right one. This is in The Guardian. These are the 10 potential ways in which they could destroy each other. So Trump could cancel all of Musk's contracts. I still don't think that will make a dent into his wealth. He could then investigate. He could bring about an investigation into Elon Musk's drug usage. That would be embarrassing. As Steve Bannon suggested, he could challenge Elon Musk's immigration status. He could possibly use general presidential powers against Musk. What do they involve? All federal regulators and prosecutors work for the president. He could tell them to do something. He could ostracize Musk from the MAGA movement. I don't think MAGA cares who's they all just love Trump, don't they? What Musk could do to Trump, though, he could turn X against the White House. I think he might have already done that. He could form a new. The thing is, I think if he formed a new political movement, do you not think he'd get the same purchase that Ye or Kanye got? Do you remember Kanye ran for president? I think he got 6 votes, something very unimpressive. He could create geopolitical problems with his businesses. This is true. He could offer Starlink to the Palestinians. That would throw the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? I've only ever once, when you message people on Twitter, I've only ever once ranted on Twitter, and it was at him saying, for saying you're so intelligent, how can you sign up to the Zionist project? Through his business, so he could do that. He could create problems for NASA. I don't think Trump's that interested in space anymore, is he? He could do a tell-all on Trump. Maybe there's more than just Epstein. Be interesting to know whether, given all of the kind of access he's been given to all of the data, it would be interesting to know. Some were trying to say it was a distraction whilst Israel bombed Beirut, but that presumes that as humans, we can't think about 2 things at the same time. I know I can. Oh, that coffee is so good. Call it conspiracy, said Christos, but perhaps the last film, Civil War, has already predicted the outcome. It will be a matter of the question, what kind of an American are you? Great moment. Jesse Plemons, possibly the only great moment in the film. I thought the rest of it sort of fell apart. I don't know what you thought, Christos. Again, the Telegraph. So the papers are full of speculation on how they can mutually destroy each other. Sometimes I sort of think of this conflict, and I think I almost think of, when you think of superheroes and supervillains rolling and roiling around in the sky. I don't really get that with this at all. I don't see it like that. What's this story here? Money can't buy him love. Republicans give Elon Musk the cold shoulder. Yeah, he's not made any inroad into governmental circles. Musk. He's too much of a kind of tech radical. Okay, here's another question. None of you were willing to give up your Borsan and decide which side of the equation you wanted to stand. If Elon Musk was to suddenly go, do you know what? I've got it all wrong. He bangs on a massive, joint, perhaps takes a little bit of K, goes into a K-hole and comes out of that K-hole and he goes, fuck me, guys. I made a mistake. I think we need to give wealth to the poor. I think we need insurance for everyone. And I think we need a homeland for the Palestinians. What would we do? Would we all go, oh, yeah, we always knew you were going to come? Maybe Musk's just had a bit of a breakdown. Maybe he's just had a bit of a wobble. Maybe his moment with Trump was his rock bottom. And everyone has rock bottoms. Sometimes me and Nadia say, you look back at views that you held about 10 years ago, you go, fucking hell, how uninformed was I? Kathy Hyde, I think Musk has autism and ADHD. I think he's definitely neurodiverse. I think that's been sort of well talked about and reported, hasn't it? I think that's possibly his superpower, as it is for so many. Wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, Rachel Thomas. Yeah. Thing is with Elon Musk, you can throw him quite far, what with all his space stuff. Do you know what I mean? Throw him into space. So that's rolling, that's roiling. But in other news from America, from Trump's America, Abrago Garcia. Does this name ring a bell to anyone? This is the chap who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador and indicted on counts. He's now been indicted on counts of illegally smuggling undocumented people. This is quite horrible. A lot has been made of how ICE, the Americans' immigration team, do you remember they sent all those kind of criminals, in inverted commas, to prisons in El Salvador? Let's get rid of, criminal migrants, And this chap was very much considered to have been sort of caught up was collateral damage, was caught up in the fray, was sent out, and humanitarian groups, humanitarian sort of charities and agencies have been fighting for his release, talking about the absolute injustice. There's been court cases called, judges have requested that he be brought back. Well, Trump's government, in a sinister twist, they said, all right, we'll bring him back, but when they bring him back, he's going to face criminal charges. In a press briefing on Friday, Pam Bondi, the U.S. Attorney General, said that a federal grand jury in Tennessee has indicted Abrago Garcia on counts of illegally smuggling undocumented people, as well as conspiracy to commit the crime. Now, some of those in the know, or some of those close to the story, are saying that a lot of the accusations against him, so he's been brought back because they have to bring him back, but in bringing him back, they're saying that he could be charged. He will then have to serve time in American prison, and then be extradited again to El Salvador. But those who know the accusations are saying most of the accusations are merely witness statements by people the government have already incarcerated, i.e., what kind of plea deals have the government offered these people to basically drop this guy in it? We don't know at this stage. We just don't know. But what's being sold to the American public is, okay, we're bringing him back, but he's a crim. You got to watch this lot. Whew. Oh, that's my coffee going down. In more serious news, moving away from the lightness of touch around Trump and Musk, though, of course, really, they're both harbingers of doom, death, and global destruction. Lynn has just gifted 5 memberships. Lynn J, very sweet, very generous. 5 of you are going to suddenly become members and be able to access the wondrous, wondrous playlist that is the Sunday Show. You can join me on my walk earlier in the week. Thank you very much, Lynn. That's very kind of you. This is disappointing news, This is really disappointing news. This is such disappointing news. It makes me want to punch my own face until I break my jaw and it hangs off. That's how frustrating it is. So the conference, I don't know if you remember, France was going to push for, this is all symbolic. France were going to recognize a Palestinian state. And alongside France were also pressurizing or requesting that the UK also, and a few other Western states, recognize a Palestinian state. Of course, Israel went mad about this, very angry, calling Macron anti-Semitic. The word Palestine they're trying to make the word Palestine anti-Semitic. Let's wrap one's head around that just for a minute, and we will in a minute. So this planned conference in New York, where Western governments were only going to make a symbolic acknowledgement or make a symbolic statement, sort of saying, not legal, not UN, just, yes, we recognize, just say it. They're just going to say, we recognize the Palestine. That's all they were going to say. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. The conference to recognize Palestinian state is to weaken the scope of its ambition and essentially pivots back to when the time is right. Forgive me for suggesting this, Macron, Starmer, and all you other spineless individuals that have only got oxygen coming out of your mouth rather than actions. The time couldn't be more right at the point that Palestinians and Gazans are being squashed against a chainmail fence and routinely shot by the providers of bait boxes the mercenaries that are putting bait boxes out and shooting Gazans. I think the time is right now to, and, you know, acknowledging a Palestinian state, this is symbolic. This isn't even legal. This doesn't change anything on the ground for anyone in Palestine. But what it might do, if you were to say it, is it might just give a scintilla of hope to the Gazans who are literally scrabbling around in dust. There's a horrendous long piece in The Guardian today, very long piece about a mother repeatedly walking each day for a week, something like 20 kilometers to see if there's food. There's no food. She takes her son the next day. She takes her child the next day. And on the 7th day, she's shot through the head with a sniper bullet. It's just, you know, come on. It's just this. They can't even symbolically say that they recognize a Palestinian state. This is how, and we are asked not to trot out. Now, look, the anti-Semitic trope of Jewish people controlling things is an anti-Semitic trope which needs to be condemned. It's not an anti-Semitic trope to acknowledge that the Israeli lobby group and the Israeli government are having an enormous impact on the behaviors of Western governments. So France, the UK, and those other limited Western powers have been totally knocked down from even acknowledging a Palestinian state. We're not even talking about doing anything for the Palestinians who are being shot, who are being invited to come and get food and then shot, either by the IDF or by the ISIS groups that Netanyahu has admitted to arming and funding. I mean, this catastrophe couldn't become more bizarre. Netanyahu defends arming Palestinian clans accused of ties with jihadist groups. And he goes, what of it? He says, what of it? Not a I need to hear Starmer and Lammy's opinion on this. I need to hear it as a matter of extraordinary urgency. I need to know what they think directly, not about, well, we feel that there needs to be a pressure, we're outraged, it's awful, it's terrible, it's intolerable. It's my new favorite word. It's intolerable. It's preposterous. It's intolerable. I want to know, I want someone to say to him, Starmer, you fuckwit, what do you make of this Netanyahu defending arming Palestinian clans accused of ties with jihadist groups? The weirdest thing about this detail, the weirdest thing about Netanyahu admitting that he's done this is that in one fell swoop, he has completely disqualified himself from being able to suggest that Hamas has in any way intercepted aid, filtered it off, stockpiled it, taken it. He is funding the criminal gangs that are doing this. This group has intercepted something like 4 trucks. He's creating civil unrest. And that in itself is an international crime. That's a crime. It's a war crime. He's funding and arming militias. He's allowing weaponry to go into the Gaza Strip, but no baby powder, no baby formula, no nappies, no essential items. But the part of this that's so bizarre is he said, yes, I'm doing it. So now anyone who supports the Israeli atrocities, anyone who supports Israel's policy in Gaza, anyone who keeps using October the 7th as some justification for genocide, anyone who does that has now completely disqualified themselves from being able to say, oh, but Hamas are taking the aid. It's bollocks. But we still have heard nothing. We have heard nothing from Starmer, nothing from Lammy, nothing. I've just posted on my Instagram. Please share it. Please go onto my Instagram, Mark_Adderley. Lots and lots of. I don't even like using the word activists, humanitarians. Lots of people who have a humanitarian interest in the plight of 2.5 million people are sharing the legal responsibilities of our government for the members of the flotilla of the Madeleine. That's I think about a day and a half away from Gaza. The IDF are preparing to intercept. Our government has a legal responsibility to look after all of the people on that ship. It's an international maritime global rules and laws are that if it has a pennant of the British flag, which it does, our government is responsible for them. Is Starmer going to say nothing until potentially the 12 people on that boat, there were 16 for a while because they rescued 4 people, if they're killed, if they're hurt, or if they're taken into custody, what are they going to say? What is Starmer going to say? Why are they waiting? Why doesn't our government issue a warning to Israel not to intercept or interfere with an aid ship that has no weaponry but has baby formula on it? So please share what me and Nadia have shared, and lots of people are sharing on Instagram. And it's a breakdown of the 3 legal responsibilities. Let me find them now. 3 legal responsibilities of the government. And 1, we call on the government to 1, issue a clear public warning to Israel that any action against the Madeleine is unacceptable and unlawful. 2, act to protect the rights and safety of those aboard its flagged vessel. And 3, the UK needs to comply with its legal duties by rejecting the legitimacy of Israel's blockade and actively supporting efforts to deliver humanitarian aid and uphold international law. This is where something that papers like the Telegraph have sought to describe it as a narcissistic do-gooding enterprise. This is where something like this, it's symbolic. What people don't seem to understand is, of course, one boat with a hull full of baby formula isn't going to resolve the plight of the Gazans. It's the symbolism. This is symbolic. And it's the symbolism that 12 brave individuals on a boat heading there are engaging in. Many other thousands of us are all doing our own different things. But our government can't even go to New York and say that they recognize a Palestinian state because they need to wait for the right moment. When is the right moment? When the genocide has been completed. With every day that goes by, as a history student, if you're on the wrong side of this equation, you will be judged. Your families will be judged in years to come. Generations will judge those of us and those of you who have sought to justify this monstrosity. It's a fact. It's a fact. Netanyahu, yeah, of course I armed ISIS. ISIS it's increasingly beginning to look like ISIS has been cooked up, is a cooked up kind of thing between the CIA and Mossad. You realize how complicated it is. Realize how much we're being played for fools, a ship of fools. That's not the ship that's going there, though. And Nadia sent me, this was, normally we send each other a little message in the morning saying, morning, but Nadia sent me this story, and she's right too. The Republicans in America are preparing a bill that will declare the phrase free Palestine as anti-Semitic. Oh my fucking Christ. Sorry, Americans in the room, and I know there are many of you, Carla, there are many Americans here who do not agree with them. We were at the encampment screening, an American filmmaker. Of course, there are thousands, millions of Americans who cannot abide this. But fuck me, America, this is your genocide. This is your fucking mess. If you pass a law that actually manages to say this is doing all of Netanyahu's dirty work when he equated the statement Free Palestine with Heil Hitler. This is lunacy. This is utter lunacy. And all I can say is to those who are deciding to do this in America, all the senior people, yeah, right, the Republican, we need to free. You're stupid, you're dense, you're uncultured, you're being manipulated, you're hollow, you're immoral, you're corrupt, you're compromised. You are a horrendous, hideous, imperialistic waste of space. This is just preposterous, absolutely preposterous. America has just literally tipped into the peak of a classic Hollywood movie's villain arc. A villainous country. Everyone should now stop going to America. Everyone, until they fucking sort their shit out and get rid of these fucking morons saying the shit. It's an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment. In further news, I'm going to play you this. Dawn French. Dawn French, she of French and Saunders. A national treasure. She posted on Instagram, in her own inimitable way, a short clip in which she was, everyone decides to approach the topic in their own different way. Comedy is sometimes a more effective way to unpick and peel back the layers of the just hideous, monstrous inhumanity at the center of this. But I'm just going to play you. This was Dawn's piece that she posted on Instagram and on Twitter.
Complicated, no, but nuanced. But bottom line is no. Yeah, but they did a bad thing to us. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but no. But we want that land, and we don't know. There's a lot of history, and we got, no. Those people, not even people, are they really? No.
Now, the part of that that's caused upset in some of the more kind of predictable areas, let's refer to them as the group that managed to pull the documentary down, the Gaza documentary, the group that sort of tries to, the group, has anyone seen Monsters, Inc.? When Monsters, Inc. and a monster comes back with a kid's sock on it through a door. And then you've got the SWAT squad that kind of goes into a lockdown on the monster, slams them to the floor, and then they have to kind of, sterilize the entire environment and clean everything to get rid of any remnants of child. The group that got the Gaza documentary are those SWAT squad. Is that SWAT squad from Monsters, Inc.? Anyone says anything, the Zionist regime apologists shoot in. They start trotting out a whole heap of lies. They perpetuate the myths, the lies of what actually happened on October the 7th, though none of us are disputing that October the 7th was a horrific day. They deny the history of the conflict prior to October the 7th, and they still seek to say that the one event of October the 7th in some way justifies the genocidal destruction of an entire people. They've homed in on this, and then they're now sort of essentially trolling and trying to pull down Dawn French, suggesting she was making light of October the 7th. I just want to say this finally. No one has made light of October the 7th. The only people who have destroyed the significance and the severity and the awfulness of what happened on October the 7th is the Israeli government and the Israeli foreign policy. Israel had the empathy and sympathy of the world in the immediate aftermath. And all that's happened on a day-by-day basis is they have squandered it. They have indulged in a victimhood that has gone so far that you are ignoring all of your responsibilities to humanity. So don't come after our national treasure, Dawn French. Don't come after her. Go after Netanyahu. Don't come after Dawn French. Go after a guy who is arming ISIS. Go after him. I want to hear you guys. I want to hear that little pressure group, the Monsters, Inc. SWAT squad, the Zionist SWAT squad. I want to hear you answer questions. Don't keep asking everyone else questions about October the 7th and still spewing out your lies and propaganda. We want to ask you questions. Let's get you in a room and let's ask you questions. Because as we've discovered, as Piers kind of rolls in each representative from Israel, you don't like answering questions, do you? You just like pointing the finger and blaming everyone else. Come on, Zionist SWAT squad. Answer some questions about the leader of Israel. Answer some questions about the genocide. Answer some question about the bait boxes and the shooting of people getting aid. Stop. We all know October the 7th was awful. You're preaching to the converted. Stop going on about it. It's pick me. It's pick me. Leave our Dawn alone. We'll just leave it at that. Oh, God. Spoiled kids. Really? Oh. So moving on, I'm going to move into some lighter stories. So I'm not going to tell you about the new coronavirus that's coming from from China. Take shorter showers, says the boss at Crisis Hit Thames Water, UK's biggest water company, which is now billions. And isn't it interesting how, if anyone in real life goes into debt, you're judged, you're told off, you are punished, you lose everything. But when a massive multi-billion-pound company goes into debt, they're bailed out, they're excused, they still get huge salaries, they're looked after, and then they have the audacity to tell us how long to shower for. Now, of course, we shouldn't be profligate with anything, but it just sticks a little bit in the craw when you think, Christ almighty, what a clusterfuck they've made of running Thames Water. So have shorter showers, please, everyone. Maybe we should just have a bath that everyone uses, the same bath water. In other news, men think they don't have a biological clock, but postponing fatherhood could stop them having children too. Do you think the biological clock is ticking for men? Without a time limit on procreation, the pressure is off men when it comes to the question of fatherhood. This is a piece in The Independent. But does a deadline-free existence hinder rather than help when it comes to family planning? This is the idea that, or this is the fact that more and more women are getting older who have children. Dads are getting older too. What's the average age of fathers or first-time fathers has increased to nearly 34 years old. I first became a dad when I was 23. The average age of first-time mothers has risen to 29. How old were you guys, or were any of you if you had children? Millennials, which have been dubbed the Peter Pan generation due to the delaying of big life milestones such as getting married and getting sprugged up, it's because I tell you what nothing kind of acknowledges, going back to the Thames Water thing, is it's the cost. Most people aren't doing it because they're actually looking at the situation, unlike Thames Water, and they're going, do you know what, we can't actually afford this. 22, Julie Neary. 19, Sazzy. Wow, my mum was 20 when she had me. Elaine Denning, 21. Helen Prince, 26. Russ, you were 39. Margaret O'Brien, 26 and 31. I do think the biological clock does affect men. I mean, obviously, men can keep I suppose, producing what's needed to make babies. So, Robert De Niro had another baby at 79. I think Al Pacino had one at 83. I think the process is a little bit more difficult for men, but I think the substance isn't necessarily. But apparently conception does go down with age for men too. And also the older you get, the increased likelihood that the baby conceived could have health issues. So the recent studies suggest that older men have a higher propensity of producing children that have neuropsychiatric disorders or neurodevelopmental disorders. So whilst men might be able to, there's a strong compelling argument that maybe they just shouldn't. But yeah, I think the biological clock, I never as a young child thought, oh, I want kids by this age, but I always knew I wanted kids, if you know what I mean. But yeah, there you go. Sticking with the sex thing, joy of sex, how often women should have sex to be their happiest is revealed in major study. Okay, personal question, but what do you think is a good, how regular should it be, do you think? Me and Nads have done a How to Stay Married about this. We might do another one about this, actually. A weekly romp, apparently, once a week, is the key to a woman's happiness, according to a new study. Women rated their relationship satisfaction highest if they had sex at least once a week, with 85% pleased with their lot. That compared to 66% for wives and girlfriends who got it once a month, and 17% who did it less than that. So once a week. I'm only talking about this because Dina isn't here. So once every other year at most, says Dawny. Me too. Morning, noon, and evening. I find that keeps me very happy. Once a week or never sounds about right, says Farida. Every day if possible, says Rachel Thomas. 14 years celibacy, Lynn Jane, not necessarily recommended. Oh, bless. Does self-satisfying count? That's Country Pumpkin. That's a very important question, and one that we will refer out to someone else to talk about. Men, in other breaking news, are outspending women on Botox and fillers. Do any of you know any men who've indulged in a few tweakments? Young men are flocking to clinics for tweakments to enhance their appearance and keep signs of aging at bay. The research says that across all age groups, 12% of men and 13% of women between 18 and 34 have had a tweakment in the past 10 years as social media normalizes the process of I just couldn't do it. Dental veneers, Botox, fillers. I mean, why? I mean, I'm asking. I should probably ask Nat. I mean, you know, why? What does a filler do? Do you literally you put it in and it does it? If I put a filler in it, would it go? Would it do this? Would it do that? Would it do this? I don't know. I just think everyone ends up looking a little bit shocked. Do you know what I mean? A little bit shocked, or like they've got cotton wool in their mouths. Last year, men's beauty spending accelerated, rising at nearly twice the rate of women's. Gen Z account for the biggest proportion of men who say they now spend a greater share of their income on beauty. Geographically, men in London are the most likely to say they spend a greater share of their income on beauty. Jordan O'Sullivan. I've had Botox in my hip when I dislocated it. Not sure if that counts, but I bet your hip looks incredibly smooth and young, doesn't it, Jordan? Carla, what did Carla say? Carla, such difficult times indeed. It doesn't matter where we're from or what we believe. Ultimately, kindness goes a long way. I just try and be as present as possible. Oh, sweetie, sending you love. I know it's tough. It's tough for anyone with a soul in America at the moment, isn't it? I do like men with good teeth, but their own, says Ellery Jones. Yeah, I mean, I've got just cobbly teeth, but always have had. I've had Botox in... Oh, sorry, you said that. I couldn't do it personally, but it's down to choice, I guess, says Carla Hatcham. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't judge anyone at all, but I worry about people. Turkey teeth, big turnoff. I know those gnashers are quite ridiculous, aren't they? In other news, cancer influencers using social media to spread misinformation. Does anyone here use social media to kind of gain? I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a little bit like the Gaza issue. You know, you've got to be judicious. You've got to be careful. You know, not everything that is online obviously is right, true, or, you know, you need to cross-reference stuff. You must never take advice from one place. But this is a piece in the Times saying that there are platforms where anyone can call themselves a doctor. And these accounts are pushing bogus therapies and deterring patients from seeking medical treatment. Now, that's not to say that some of the things they say possibly aren't true. This is one story here. This is a woman who allegedly healed a woman of 3 tumors. Barbara ONeal, she's got caught up in a controversy. Baking soda versus cancer, all sorts of weird health advice and the recommendation of supplements. But, you know, and then other things like sunscreen amongst products targeted by influencers as toxic. Again, it's a difficult one because sometimes there'll be a kernel of truth in some of this. That, you know, if we've discovered, for example, microplastics in bottles of water is an issue. It's a thing, you know, they're being these little balls of microplastics are being found in testicles, in brains, in bodies. So, you know, so many things have issues around them. But I just don't. It's really hard to know where you can trust the news or information. The best thing I can suggest is always just try and cross-reference anything you read and see if it's backed up anywhere else. But I think directly taking advice from social media is just tricky. There was a fun piece here. I'm wrapping up now because we're running out of time. How the insufferable waiting game ruined the way we watch TV. This is a piece about the suggestion that there's too long between shows. I would argue that the demise of The Lost of Us, which, my God, it was so fucking boring. Sorry, Reese, and anyone who's enjoyed it. We bailed, and we were committed to the cause, but we bailed. You know, and the waiting for I think Stranger Things is coming soon, but is the wait too long? You know, should they be shooting more stuff back to back and then carving them up and then dropping them out, you know, 2 year, 3 year. Are we going to have to wait 3 years for more boring The Last of Us? I mean, fuck me. Once he died and Bella Ramsey started trudging off, boring. I prefer quality over rush stories, me too. But then my problem is, and it's not Alzheimer's to forget. I mean, I know you can do a sort of a rehash, but maybe a year and a half or something, or shoot 2 series back to back. This is a piece in the Independent, how the insufferable waiting games ruined the way we watch TV. Stranger Things. The Bear. First series of The Bear Light. Second bit. I wanted to answer this. Should you pay in the local currency or pounds when you're on holiday? It's a question we always ask when we're abroad. It's definitive. It's a definitive answer. Always, always pay in your local currency. Okay? Then you will not be subjected to the transactional costs of the, what they call, not the money lenders. Jesus, that sounds like biblical times. But, the what they call where you cash exchange, foreign exchange, that you won't be subjected to fees there. And finally, some funny photos. There's a horse. Oh, look, he needs to go and get some Turkish gnashers, doesn't he? Blimey. There's a fruit bat. Oh, look at him just skimming. This guy's really trying to squeeze one out. And I think he succeeded in his own sort of unique way. These guys are also trying to squeeze one out, though. The one on the left is trying to catch it with his baseball mitt. San Francisco Giants delighted here. This is, look at him. He's just a cute little deer. Oh my God, little narrow nose. This is a train in Bangladesh. The guy obviously in the middle standing. That's standing room only. Everyone else has got their seats. I can't even believe the hamster's hand. Look, it looks like King Charles's hand. It's so cute. It makes me want to literally hammer my head against a spike. He's very hungry. This makes me want anchovies and sushi. Love a puffin. Feel bad that I ate puffin meat in Iceland. And Prince William has admitted that really he doesn't know when to stop when it comes to drinking vodka. Okay, guys, that's your lot. In 1 minute, the countdown will be starting for the curly cooks. Stay with us. You'll have another, I think it's quite a short one, but the food, oh, it looks beautiful. How to glow. If you want to you don't need Botox, you don't need fillers. You just need to watch the curly cooks. That's where you're going to look and shine and be beautiful. So stay tuned to the channel. It's going to land straight away. Thanks, guys. Free